Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to yet again another fantastic indie creator interview. It's your K-Producer Cody, and we're keeping it geekly with our returning guest, Markus Pattern. We're here to break down Here Comes the Dragon Punch and everything in between. Markus, last time we had you on was episode 54. This is episode 397. What the hell's been up since you last been on, man? It's been, it almost feels like a year.
Has it been a year? You know,
it's probably been pretty close.
Yeah, I think the last time I was on here was it was the second issue of 13 Shots of Whiskey, and then I think I was working on the third issue, and then it was like it just kind of fell apart and stuff, and I needed to pivot. So and then I did the Containment Breach Volume 4, and then I was like, well, I was doing a lot of really dark and angry and gnarly stuff. And I thought, you know, I kind of like to go with a lighter sort of affair. So I decided to come up with Here Comes the Dragon Punch. Like a shonen manga kind of dealio. From back when I was a lad, and you could just have fun watching people kick other people in the face. Simpler times.
I was going to say the energy and the atmosphere in this felt a whole lot lighthearted compared to the three deaths of Willis Waterhouse. I mean, like, you know, that was grim, that was dark, depressing. This one feels, I wouldn't say kiddish, but it feels like, you know what I mean, like that Naruto kind of esque feeling, where it's not so, the early Naruto at least, where it's not so grimy, it's not so dark and forbidden. There's a lot of fun, a lot of humor aspects in this.
Well, that's the basic. I was just trying to push that part of my career, because I think I'm quite funny. I think it's kind of one of my natural inclinations is to either be like opaquely dark and vile, or it is to just be really lighthearted and humorous, and just like, it's just a nice headset to be in and stuff. And I mean, it's meant to, and it's unlike the other stuff. It's not an adult comic. It's an old family. It's a family comic, like an all ages kind of comic. Like, in theory, your 7-year-old could read it, or your 75-year-old could read it and stuff like this. And it's really more basically that's it. It's where's I going with that? So just exercising different aspects of my toolbox. Like, again, like being, I think I'm quite funny. I like to think I can write quite funny and humorous dialogue and stuff, and come up with slightly more humorous and abstract scenarios and stuff. Hence the reason for why, instead of it in this tournament, there's a Great British Bake Off ripoff, because like me and my wife thought that would be really funny. So
I love at one point there was like a fight sequence with a chess match going on. That one was, I think that's the first thing I discussed with my wife and stuff, like, how can I do this? And I had an idea, and she said, do something better. Like, and it's like, because like, obviously your first idea is never, generally speaking, your best idea. It's like you kind of cycle through them. It's kind of like, well, this is like Chinese chess boxing. That's pretty dope. Dope Wu-Tang song. Dope fucking concept. So like, just like, and it's like, and it's just led to it leads itself to something a different kettle of fish. Because like, I've never composed a fight sequence surrounding a chess set before. And I didn't realize quite how difficult chess pieces are to draw, and it's like, it's just an interesting kind of vibe. And then you go, then to go on from up the and just, it was more of an interesting way to take these things. And that's kind of what's my approach been with this guy. What's the interesting way that I can take this, and how would, like, and what would be like, what would be my natural inclination? Well, I'm not making that comic. What would be my third inclination? Skipping over the second one, because that one was really dumb. So like the third one, that's a much better kind of affair. And it's been how I'm approaching the writing process of this. It's like, it's not so much kind of set in stone. Like, I have an idea of where I'm gonna, like, I had a basic broad idea. Like, we're gonna start off with introducing the characters, and then we're gonna basically end
on on either the first tournament of like a big like Enter the Dragon kind of fight sequence, or that's going to be like a 5 comic arc and stuff, and then Omar will be a massive character in that, and then Ash will be a massive character in that, and it's like as I'm progressing, so I said, well, no, if I could condense this down and blah blah blah. So it's a lot more fluid in my in the way I'm in the way I'm creating it and everything. It's basically like it's just a lot more fluid. Like, in the main character in this series is August, and she wasn't when I created the series. It was Omar and Ash. That's why they're dressed. That's why they're dressed the way they are, because you can cosplay as them quite easily and stuff. But like, they're not not the main. Do you remember when you first heard of The Simpsons? Oh, you won't, because you're like about 2 years old. You remember when you first heard of The Simpsons?
Okay, first of all, I grew up on The Simpsons. Yeah. I know. I worshipped The Simpsons.
How old are you, baby?
I'll be 34 in August.
Maybe something, but you look so young. Okay,
it's the baby face. I know. Good skin routine.
So you might remember it, but when you might just remember when The Simpsons weren't. I mean, maybe American, you don't. But like, there's a kid when over here, when Simpsons was coming over here, we didn't really have them because they weren't on TV. They were like on VHSs that people got, so you didn't necessarily have access to them because they weren't on BBC Two and then on Sky and Sky One and stuff. They were ubiquitous, but they weren't on TV. So when you think, and all the merchandise was Bart Simpson, and then when you watch the program, I really like Bart Simpson. Why are they focusing on Homer Simpson kind of thing? It's like, so that's how, so that's like how my initial inclination was, like the merchandising kind of things people can pivot to and be like cosplay and everything was like, oh, it's Omar and Ash, hence the uniform. And then as I was writing, okay, so well, actually I'm more interested in what August is doing. Yeah, so like, I don't know, I was specifically going with that, but that's, but yeah.
Do you remember the first animation of The Simpsons, how they looked like the very first time they came out? Oh my goodness, it is like a world of difference.
Yeah, totally. Like, and it's really weird how like that's just the evolution of
So an interesting thing, I feel like August would be really fun to cosplay. I know you were saying Ash and Omar would be, but August has like a lot of color. It just feels like it would be almost, I feel like kind of like a Pokemon protagonist look.
Yeah. I mean, again, like I designed it with a specific like the headband is the case. Like, well, it's specifically that there is an identifier, and there's the vest thing that she wears and stuff. Like I identify with like this is August attire, then this would be easy enough for you to cosplay as. Like, it's not to sound craven or nothing or mercenary, but that's literally how I'm designing a character. Would it be dope if someone at a convention walked around looking like this? Yes, it would.
Well, that also works.
Would it be for this? Yeah.
It also works too, because you're able to identify them and you give them a clear, distinctive look. So I mean, it's like 2 birds, 1 stone, right? Like, you're giving them that distinctive look where you can tell that's the main character in a crowd.
Pretty much, I mean, but yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, what type of story did you do in Containment Breach? I know 13 Shots of Whiskey was kind of like a Western, like cowboy approach. Like, what was Containment Breach Volume 4 for you?
It was basically like a Lovecraftian Tomb Raider dealio, in which the mining cats go and these mining cats go and they're mining this rare metal ore and stuff, and they basically unleash a series of bugs and then horrors and stuff, and it's like about how this not basically, it's a really violent alien Lovecraftian sci-fi kind of thing, which was both a lot of fun to draw and also a massive ball ache, but also a lot of fun to draw, and I did have a lot of fun doing it.
So what led you... Oh, go ahead.
I mean, I was going to say it's the I mean, I've colored quite a few of my comics and stuff, and it was the first time I ever felt like
like, you know what? I think I'm doing something here. This
Okay.
isn't just me going, oh, why is this not fucking doing this? Just cut color by numbers kind of thing. Like no. I can do something here. I can make I've been watching a lot of Steven Universe, and the backgrounds on that show are just amazing. Like they're just jaw-droppingly beautiful. Okay, so how can I do that? And just trying to kind of like paint backgrounds as opposed to and then just trying to come up with decent color theory and just goes like well, if I'm going to do it, I need to do this properly and stuff, because this is an artistic showcase, because I can draw really well, not to brag, but I can. And like I can draw violent stuff really well. I can design creature quite well, and I can do like big horror stuff. But can I color it? Can I make it so it looks good? Can I make the creature look both cute and fuzzy, but also like unsettling and creepy and stuff? And can I make the big bad fucking humongous thing at the end feel like a massive entity that will just like, this is it, this is the end kind of thing, which you'll have to judge for yourself, but I like to think I pulled it off quite well. I didn't, but I did.
I wanted to ask because, like I said, with like a Western, and then we're going to a Lovecraftian horror, grotesque, bloody, gory. Now we're in a light-mooded, family-friendly, like shonen martial arts mix. Like, what led you to Here Comes the Dragon? Like, what was kind of the inspiration to begin this story? Like this type of story, at least.
Oh, this type of story was, this type of story was because essentially I wanted to draw, I wanted, basically, this sort of started off as something else.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've been on my Instagram feed recently and stuff, you'll have seen there's like some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Street Fighter kind of mashup fan art, in which basically I penciled and then digital watercolored it, and it came out really quickly and stuff, but it also looked really good. I thought, if I can basically do that for an entire comic, I can, because that means I won't be sitting here for 3 months doing the one issue going like, why is this not fucking working? If I can draw an entire page within an hour and a half, and then color it within an hour and a half, that's 3 hours of work, and I've got a page I can then run with and stuff. And and then that's the initial impetus for doing the Here Comes the Dragon Punch as a thing, was like, I'm just wanting to do something quickly, and then it went from like, I want to do something cool, and then actually I quite like the idea of having like a little kind of universe that I can play in. So it started off with the most superficial reasons. I basically wanted to draw a really quick, easy fighting comic in which I watercolored the things to get the coloring done quickly and stuff. And then I did end up not using that technique, but I basically ended up using other techniques which both added flavor but also added time to the process. And then what's the question? So that's the initial reason for doing it, was I wanted to do something really quickly, and then
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, and fights are generally quite quick to draw and stuff, for me anyway. So it's a case of that's where it came from. And then it's like, well, I like drawing fights, I like drawing parkour. I've written the most barest bones of Marvel method script, in which I basically these are the beats I'm hitting. There's going to be Omar's going to be running. There's going to he's going to come across Eagle and stuff. We're going to be doing wrestling and stuff. Then there's going to be some more running, and that's Omar's entire gist. Well done, Markus. You've made 10 pages worth of comics right there. And then with Ash and Omar's a case of they're going to eat pizza because I like drawing people eating food. And then there's going to be a tournament, and then they're going to be walking through a park and skateboarding because I like drawing that too. Well done, Marcus. You've got another 10 pages right there, and then the rest kind of filled in. And now with issue 2, it's case of like, well, I've taken those initial acorns and I'm going to grow them into big oak trees and stuff, and that's how. That's essentially how it came about. It's because like I had an initial idea of like kind of series of beats I want to hit, and so well, now we can go from there. So that's and it just so happened that like the I mean, I could have made this a lot darker. I think I was it wouldn't have been a dramatic jump to make to put in some like kind of blood and make more gore and put swearing in and stuff. There's loads of things like it wouldn't have but it was just nicer not to be like it was just nicer to be funny than grim,
Marcus had to restrain so hard not to give someone a bloody nose.
yeah. Like it's I mean I can do it's a fighting comic. People can get fucked up and stuff. And I've a mate of mine told me about this martial art called Silat, which I can't remember where it comes from, but like I think it's either Indonesian or but basically it's anyway. So I think it's what the MMA people use and it's really, really brutal. It's just like it's just designed to you're not only disarming your opponent, you are then fucking them up.
Yeah.
And then that's the martial art technique I'm going to be using for August going onwards. So like that will lend itself to a lot more kind of a lot more kind of violent stuff and stuff. I could really push it one way, or I could push it another way. I mean, my main one of the things about having your own little universe is you can have one pocket and say, well, this is just little kind of kid friendly kind of thing, and now another universe pocket we go, I'm gonna go really hard at this one. And my plan is to have like a bunch of like short little like 2-page kind of scripts that I'm going to post up on Instagram, like using that format of kind of sliding that way and stuff, because that's quite interesting. I've never really made exactly like a daily comic strip kind of thing. I've never really done that kind of thing. So it'd be nice to play in that little sandbox too. And then I am using Webtoons, but I've never really made a comic design to be in Webtoons. So it'd be cool to use that format to tell a fighting story, which I'm not 100%, or just a story in this universe, and then I can make that as bleak or as funny as I want and stuff. And because the great thing about this is like because it's just basically fighting and everything. There's lots of stuff you can do. You can either be lighthearted or it can be grim, or there's like loads of side characters and stuff. So it's a big sandbox that I'm quite looking forward to playing in or not playing in. So that's.
You were talking earlier, martial arts can be very brutal. Me and my kids were enrolled in our class. We were doing Kempo, which is just basic fundamentals, stand up, no ground. It was just pretty much you're all standing up. But some of the techniques we learned, it was shown like, hey, you could at this point, stomp on this person's calf. They're probably not going to be able to walk for the rest of their life. But if you need to, if they have weapons, this is like an alternative move. So like, I don't think a lot of people realize like it's not just chops and everything. They teach you like where to stomp on a ligament to like fuck that person up from trying to kill you type shit. And it can get very brutal, and you have to be you have to have a lot of restraint in doing this. One thing I wanted to make a mention of, like you were talking about all the different techniques that went into this, I noticed, and maybe I didn't get a chance to read Containment Breach Volume 4, but your perspectives in this just felt like it was just next level. There was a part where August was like swooping underneath a barrel, and then there was a panel following up from a different perspective of that same view, and I was like, this is so cool. This was awesome.
Thank you so much. that was one of the most difficult fucking pages to get, because there's no real reference for that shot, and I like this. The only reference for that shot is a side view reference, and it's just like, how do I do that? But like that was both really, 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 really difficult, but also a lot of fun to draw. That was like the second or third beat that said, this is what I'm drawing and this is what's going in this comic and stuff. But I'm glad you dug it because I it was difficult to get, but like it was also a lot of fun to draw.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's pull up the comic. We have the opportunity to pull it up and go through some of these pages together. And I think it'd be a perfect opportunity for us to check it out. With everyone that is watching, guys, there's going to be just links in the description where you can go check this out. Buy this, because you can buy this physically as well, right?
You will be able to. Basically, I was at a had my first ever convention in Glasgow on Saturday, and I wanted to have a copy of this available because my plan is not to release like individual issues because that's quite time consuming and costly, and I don't have the fucking room. So unless I was thinking of doing like in kind of like tankobon versions and stuff, like kind of like releasing like 3 issues as like a trade volume kind of thing. So but I wanted to know what because I've applied like a lot of filters and stuff to the color work, and I want to know what that looks like on certain paper stock. So that's why.
Here, well, let me get you zoomed in.
That's why this exists, because like I wanted to see how the treatment I put on the artwork looks in real life. And I like to say it looks pretty fucking good, but this will be available on my Etsy probably next week. It's coming back from Glasgow and stuff. I've been busy doing something else. Also, I've been residually ill, and it's just really just like just trying to get up the energy to be doing anything. So like, okay, life, and I want it to end. So it's kind of and in that mindset, it's really hard to take really fancy photos of a comic to on Etsy. Which I know I should soldier through these things. I'm moaning about being a lazy prick.
You're
so,
human.
anyway.
You are a human, Marcus. You're allowed to be sick and be sick. I mean, give your body some room to breathe. How was that con? Give us a little bit about your experience there. You said that was your first time going?
It was really cool. I really enjoyed it. So my first time at convention, my first time in Glasgow, everybody was really, really cool. There's like lots of there was lots of like anime cosplayers and stuff, and like people, like there was none of the anime that I recognized, but they all looked fantastic. There was this geezer walking around dressed as a Lino, which is like, that is pretty sick, yo. And it was really. It was really cool. Everyone there was really nice. Like the guys I was next to, who were sitting, who were either side of me, were really cool. It was just a really fun day. I really enjoyed it.
That's so awesome. I ended up going to my first con, I want to say earlier this year in March, and cons are such. It's like you love comics and you go to a con and it's just like you're filled with everyone who's just like you. It's undescribable.
I'm not sure how that's it. That's a weird thing, because like over here it seemed like a lot more like it. I'm not sure you classify it as a comic con, as like an art anime festival that has comics there.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah.
So, yeah. It's not to shit upon it, but it's because like it doesn't seem. You would think after the pandemic, when everyone sat down to kind of create all these comics and stuff, there would be more like, well, we're specifically here for comic conventions. But like, I mean, it is what it is. Like, it's not, not to, it's better to have a space full of all artwork and stuff than have like a specific kind of thing where people just kind of like, not just, then again, it may be different in the States where like that you have specifically Comic Con and then art fair kind of thing where comics are sold.
I hear often a lot of the times anime is starting to take a lot of it over. It's just like anime is just like so popular now, and you were talking like there was a lot of cosplay you didn't recognize. It feels like there's a new anime coming out almost every other week.
Yeah, it's almost like they're working those poor animators to death, and maybe we should give them a minute or two off.
So right here is the first page. We have our cover, which is a gorgeous cover. I love seeing all the different characters in the background. We have this ominous person right here in the corner. We get a little glimpse of them later on too. I really like that. And then one of my favorite things is I love the introduction. You give the age, what they like, what they're into. I feel like a lot of comics don't utilize on that as much as they should.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about back when our lad Marvel had the gatefold and stuff. So you basically you got an introduction to the characters, plus you got a recap of what the comic was, like all the lore that came before it and stuff. And so like, like it's such a, like, if you you need to do that, otherwise you're going to basically spend time info dumping on who these cats are during the story and stuff, and this is the first time we meet these cats, so this is a good, I thought this was a good way just of doing it without being didactic and everything. But like, again, like, you can either do it this way, in which you've got a little action, they're clearly all heading to some place, but also like I'm introducing them out there and going, oh, hi, I'm Ash. Oh, hi, I'm August. Or like, oh, it's just because of just a way of introducing these people first, and then having their introduction to themselves be more natural and stuff, if you get me.
So is Motown really musical perfection? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, he's like, there's no joke about that, Cody.
No.
No, I love that. Go ahead.
If you listen to the melodies, right? Like, Motown is fucking amazing. Like, there was music that came before Motown, and then there's music that comes after Motown. Motown is the music that basically made all music just better. Like, it told you, this is how one sings a melody. This is how one constructs music. Take that and run with it into the wild, It's just.
And then we have our introduction to August and Ash right here. I love how, he's doing, what is that, a kickflip, heel flip?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
I love that. And then meeting right at a pizza place, August's favorite place to eat. And then we have Omar, of course, running across on rooftops. And one of my favorite things is, these two kind of do look alike, but, Omar has the orange on the top, and then Ash has the stripes, the silver stripes.
He also does, Omar doesn't have the strands flying off. It's that on his arms up.
Okay. Yeah. So I just love this interaction between the two. And I mean, right off the rip, we have something going down, someone popping right up. So who's this guy right here?
He's part of, so Ash and Omar, Omar used to be, Ash is part of a dojo that teaches the martial arts and stuff, and this would be from a rival dojo run by Mr. J.
Okay.
So he's a rival clan, dojo member.
And I love right here, it's like, no point in being a hero if you can't fight bad guys. It seems like such a true statement, and it really goes to show you that things are about to get climatic. So I thought this was another interesting scene right here. We have everyone meeting up here, and this like tournament showdown was just so brutal. We have fighting, we have chess. I love the chess too. Chess is like one of my favorite activities to do outside of comics.
It's one of my wife's favorite activities. It's not something I'm particularly good at, but like, chess is always interesting because, like, the strategy and everything, it better than I do, but like, and also the little horses look nice, the little horses look delightful.
You said this chess piece, some of these were like tough to draw or get in the right perspective.
It's both, because like I've never drawn chess pieces before. So it's just, and it's essentially, basically, I'm not really drawing kind of like straight down curve kind of things. There's some reason drawing cars is awkward and stuff. Just like you can, unless you're being really concise, constrained, it can just go like wibbly wobbly all over the place.
Well, you really got to know the item. You have to know, like, to a detail, like how to get the right, like what it looks like to be able to draw something, from 2D to make it look 3D. Like, it's, I'm not an artist, so I can't, I give you big kudos for being able to do it. But, just from an outside perspective, it just looks like it'd be so hard to do.
It is hard to do, and it is fiddly, especially as I was trying to be quick with it. In this case, like,
so if you draw certain things like a lot, you can, like, this is muscle memory, but like if you've never drawn it before, guys are like, well, that's not muscle memory, that's you learning something brand new, and you ain't gonna get it right in your first time and stuff.
And right here's what I was talking about. Go ahead.
Yeah, being a six like a 6-panel page. Those pages just take forever anyway. So like I'm gonna do this in an hour and a half. Like, no, you're fucking not. You're gonna do it in a day. You know?
Yeah. Right here was that page I was talking about before, where we have August diving underneath this barrel, and then we get the different perspective right here. That was such a cool, like, just a pivot. And I love too, you know, you see him kicking the barrel right here, and then the guy in the back and just eating up by that barrel. I just kind of love how you were able to make this work.
I mean, that was I like this page too. I'm very proud of how it came out, and it, again, was like kind of a lot of fun to draw and stuff, you know. And again, it was like this. I'm sticking this in. It was like my second or third idea, like after like August and Ash eating pizza together. This is like, well, they're gonna run up a course, like dodging barrels and stuff.
The worst thing to do after eating pizza, right? Like,
pretty much, yeah. I mean, they literally just stuffed their face full of food and stuff, and now they're competing in a tournament. I didn't think about that. You know. So
what? I mean, was there like any shows or different animes that you pulled from when creating this? Like, you maybe use as an influence or reference points?
Yeah, you can, if you know. Yes, I but I'm not going to tell you where I stole from. Otherwise, yes, all that. You know. I mean, obviously, Street Fighter has a massive influence on this. You know, Street Fighter 2, the animated movie, is the biggest influence on my life of any kind of cultural impact, maybe Evangelion and stuff. So like that, and then stuff like DBZ, and I was into the first few seasons of Naruto, and I never, and then there's loads of loads of coming in there.
Naruto is one of those animes. I got into it at the end. The Shippuden, I cannot ever say that fucking word right. Shippuden. The beginning of Naruto, I watched it like halfway through, and then like realized like, oh crap, like Naruto actually starts when he was young, and it's insane to see like how kiddish and childish it kind of felt in the beginning, and then how adult it got. Like it grew with his audience, and I thought that was such an awesome thing.
I jumped, I bailed before that noise, because I was getting, the reason I was getting it was because like we still had HMV in this country in this case, like, and now the DVDs were like about a $5 in case of, well, I need something to watch. So like, and then once HMV went down, it's case of like, I don't need that much shit in my house, and like it's kind of why I stopped watching Bleach as well. So in this case, like,
there's so much filler too, right?
In it, and like there's only so much you can put up with that, and then like it's a case of I've got other things to watch and stuff, and I've got lives to live.
I really love this too.
This channel is pure Great British Bake Off.
Oh wait, right here?
Yeah, just pure great. This was a lot of fun to draw because I've never really drawn cake this pretty before, but yeah, this is just pure Great British Bake Off.
I love how like trippy the frosting looked too. Like it almost looks like psychedelic like vibes to it.
Yeah.
That's funny. So I actually love this next page too. You know, you've done well. Here's your reward. And it's like poetry. But this book has a lot of great powers to it. I did not expect this, and maybe this is like what is in the future to come. But like following it, I mean, dude, he like this right here is so cool. He like gets imbued with these flames up his arms. I love this lettering right here. Like I roar with like this little texture right here. Like this was such a cool panel.
That was a lot of fun to because like lettering is something I just. I mean, I told you about that when I was doing 30 Shots of Whiskey. I discovered it like about before, in case of like a comic I'd done before. Like, oh, I really like doing this, and then that's why I didn't color 30 Shots of Whiskey, because I was too busy kind of focusing on the lettering and stuff, because it's a lot of fun. And then like it's like, how can I do it and stuff, and then like how can I make lettering more interesting, like the and then like the sparkle effects on the eye raw thing was just like, yeah, it's a lot of fun to kind of just experiment and just play and yeah.
So is this you mentioned there was 2 books in this, right? Like, is this where the first book ends?
2 chapters, I guess, would
2
be
chapters.
a better way of doing it. So this would be chapter 1, which would be Ash and August's story, discovering the dragon flame, and then like chapter 2 will be Omar finding looking for the MacGuffin that he's looking for, which I have a proper storyline for, and I'm not just making up for the goal.
I really liked how on this page we ended with this, and then at the end of this we end, with August doing the same thing. Like, that was one of my favorite things, and that's why I was asking, because I wasn't sure if those 2 chapters were in this PDF. Like, because I would have said that was an awesome way to kind of how you ended, this page and then the last page.
Yeah, no, no, that might have been a bit. No, it was just a. No, I just needed to close, and I think I wanted there must have been more of a reason than like I just thought it'd be cool to have this at the end, and I'd stuck Omar's story in between this point and the last point in the.
See, I was gonna say I thought it was cool, like how it kind of came full circle though. Like, this was their teacher, and then like we end with August kind of doing the same, showing her parents like the same technique.
Yeah.
So another interesting couple pages right here, and I love just kind of how you. Go ahead.
Do you know who really likes Hawaiian and jalapeno pizza? Kevin Eastman.
Oh, really?
That's why that's there.
Yeah, I was gonna say I really loved how you were, tying in like just how close these 2 were. But I love that little Easter egg as well. That's fantastic. And then right here we have I was gonna say we have a little shot to your previous work right here too. I just caught that. I didn't catch that in my first read.
Cool. I'm glad it says layers.
That's so cool though. I always love seeing that, utilizing billboards and signs and throwing like little nods in there, little other Easter eggs. So is this universe within this universe, or is that kind of just like a nod to your book?
Yes, say yes.
Okay.
Let's say yes. I haven't really figured that one out. Oh, by the way, in the printed version, tracker is actually spelled correctly.
Okay. Honestly, I didn't even catch that right now either.
I didn't. So that all spelling is correct in the printed version.
I love this too. We have Ego versus Brian, the awesome showdown right here.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun to draw. I mean, all this book was a lot of fun to draw. I probably should, I will point out when stuff wasn't fun to draw, I guess.
So is this like a Walls of Jericho right here?
Is what?
Like a wrestling, like Chris Jericho, like Walls of Jericho?
Sharp shooter, but there will probably be a Wall of Jericho move in there at some point. I've gotten back into wrestling as a slightly older man. This is surprisingly, given all the fucking legs and limbs and stuff, it's like you wouldn't expect it to be difficult to draw, but it's more tricky than you'd expect. But yeah, this is cool to draw, especially because I spent ages trying to really push the perspective on Brian's arm, and it just did not work and stuff. So yeah. But yeah, this section was a lot of fun.
I love this too. You just show how powerful these hits are. Just dented the side of this van with them. Like, it's brutal. And then right here is like, bro, what the hell? Are you a child? Like, I ain't hurt no child. Like, and then I love he's like, I ain't no kid. Like, such a brutal scene right here. And then smash. So I love how Brian just smash and runs. What's the importance of what he grabs here? Is that spoiler or?
Yes, it is a spoiler. I couldn't possibly tell you. You'd have to read the sequential comic books to figure that out.
Yeah, so we see Brian grabbing something.
How dare you infer that I don't know what he's after. I do know, 100%. Honestly, it was more of a case of I didn't have an idea at the time. I have an idea now. point was more that there was I wanted a chase sequence, and I know Omar is looking for something, and I will figure out what he's looking for and stuff, because like it's you know, as Hitchcock pointed out, like it's a MacGuffin. Like, you know, the audience don't give a fuck. They want to see my man run. And he's
the
running.
action.
Yeah,
And I love the pedestrian, like the random civilian right here pissed off that Omar's using her car as like to catapult himself forward.
Yeah, that is also a surprisingly difficult reference to get. Like, you would think, like, how many images do we have of people just sliding over cars? To get like a full side-on view, nope. Like, that was all with really different angles. That's because it makes the car difficult to fucking draw and stuff.
I really like how you have like Brian's cape right here, kind of just showing how close Omar is to catching them. So it's like you're always trailing that little attention to detail, like showing just how close this chase is to coming. And then right here we get that ominous looking creature from the cover. Gets the MacGuffin,
really like
gets
this
out.
page. Yeah, and I've recently had to so I just drew this as a one-off panel character. And now I've had to try to figure out how I'm going to take this dope design and make it so that I can, you know, do a character turnaround and put it in and draw. So that I might have shot myself in the foot with this one.
That
like,
mask
you
is
know,
badss though.
Yeah, I really fucking like it. I was really proud of it and stuff. It's like if I was being a bit more sensible, I would have I would have designed it off the sheet before I put it on the but these things are what they are. Yeah.
And then right here, this I just love. We have August coming home. Mommy, Daddy, check out my new trick I could do, and then boom.
Yeah.
That would be something, right? Like your kid comes home and just like engulfs in flames. Like, what are you doing? Take that outside.
Yeah. And the next few issues will be about August learning to channel and how and enhance their power and stuff, and then because like I really like the idea of the parents and everything, and so it'd be about the dad doing his best to help out his kid and everything, because you know, as a parent you want to be there, like in so like I like the idea that while also being like kind of silly, light-hearted, kind of I can also be like, well, as a father, I'd like to help my child and follow and stuff, you know. So like,
I love the panel breaking right here. Like this is another thing I didn't catch on my first read, but I'm catching a little bit more clear. Like how when she's engulfed in flames, like the panel around her is like broken.
Yeah,
so cool.
I'm just watching. Obviously, as you probably can guess, I watch quite a lot of cartoonist kayfabe, and they would and they were going over Todd McFarlane's artist edition and stuff, and they were mentioning how he just breaks up the way he breaks up the panels, and how he just removes stuff, and just a different way of doing panels and stuff. Well, that's interesting. So I'm trying, instead of just having straightforward grids and stuff, I'm trying to be as varied of it as humanly possible, because it just makes it a more interesting screen. But you know.
And then we were talking backstage. So you let me pull up my notepad. I want to make sure I have this right. So you release this for free as chapters on Webtoons via newsletter and Art Station every Friday. But there's also your Patreon, where people can get extra behind the look scenes, such as additional like sketches and drawings like this.
Yeah. So this is an additional. So if you go via my Etsy and buy the digital version, you will get this as well. But if you go via my Patreon, you'll get behind the scenes as well. So like but whatever digital version of this you buy, you will get. You're going to get these like behind like sketches and stuff, plus like the like what I was listening to as well.
I really like this. When I got to this, I thought this was such a cool thing to add, like just kind of like what your playlist. I mean, the mood you were in when you were creating this, and then your other works as well. This was an awesome experience. I love this. We got our man Ash right here doing a little bit of a grind. It looks like a feeble grind, Smith grind.
Yes. You know more about
I used to be a
about
skater.
I used to play Tony Hawk, and then I stopped. So like my knowledge, I know it looks cool. These things are I'm a bit more superficial, and like I know stuff looks cool and stuff. So, but
And
yeah,
it's cool. But I'm at the age where if you fall, like you don't recover nearly as fast as you do when you're a teen. Like when I'm out for months. I had to quit because of that. Like
I vomited on Thursday, and I'm still aching from it today. Like it's like just time just does not kind to you. Oh, so anyway, back to the Patreon, which I should promote instead of my old crippledness. So what you get there is you get like a behind the scenes breakdown. So like I don't know how much that was visible on the screen there, but like there's a texture to the coloring and stuff, and essentially I've applied this kind of like old school kind of anime filter to it and stuff, which gives it a bit of which kind of lightens the tone, puts a gradient on, and adds a bit of noise and texture to it. Otherwise it would look quite flat and everything. And so in the first issue, I've basically broken down like the amount of times I like the experiments and stuff, like how hard I went with it or how soft I went with it, and then there's like there's an extra step with anime when you apply an anime filter to like an old school 90s anime filter where you shift color hues and stuff, and like so like the page where Omar is running, you can see the amount of like experimentation I put into that to see how that would fit out and stuff, and then like there's and I then explain to you how I've done it and then why I've done it and stuff. So, and that's one of the behind the scenes shenanigans you'll find. And I don't know exactly what else I put in for issue 1, but like it's basically my breaking down processes and stuff, which so you get the digital copy plus that, which I think is worth £3, and also it just basically means that it's not only are you going to get for $3.50, you're going to get like a comic plus the behind the scenes shenanigans. You'll basically say, oh, well, I really want to, your support will make me go, well, this is worthwhile doing as well. So like the cat who released Giant Days is basically doing that with his new venture. Like I thought, well, that seems like a good idea, and I'm not using Patreon properly enough anyway. So
yeah, and those behind the scenes are really important, especially for artists themselves, to kind of see what processes work, what processes don't, how it looks like when it's being utilized, and much more. Markus, I mean, this was such an awesome experience. What's next for you in 2023? I mean, we're kind of halfway through the year. Do you have any other big plans, any other new titles or series that you're working on?
Well, obviously, issue 2 of Here Comes Dragon Punch will be there's been a slight delay in it, but that'll be out sooner than later. When Breach Containment 4 comes out, I had kind of left 13 Shots of Whiskey by the wayside because I was kind of feeling down about the fact that no one seemed to give a shit about it. But it's like after doing the convention and thinking, well, looking back over my work, thinking, well, I would actually quite like to go back into this work. So there might be a volume, a third issue of 30 Shots of Whiskey in the interim. If I can do that in 7 weeks like I did the last ones, I might do that. So, but basically, more importantly, I'm kind of building up my portfolio because like it's cool to do stuff on my own, and it's cool to be like kind of like out there releasing shit, but I would really like someone to hire me as a comic book artist so I can do this properly full time, and because this is a lot of fun. Yeah. But there's it's having fun, and there's like, well, I've got to support my wife, I've got to support my child and stuff. So the next few things you're gonna see released from me will be like kind of fan / portfolio pieces of like a Harley Quinn comic that I've done, and I'm currently drawing a Hellboy fan comic that I'll be like, look at this cool shit that I've done, and hire me to do it for you too. That's the next big thing, is to basically to continue releasing Here Comes the Dragon Punch, and hopefully someone hire me to draw them a comic, because I'm quite good at it. I don't see why you wouldn't.
No, and everyone who's interested, we'll have those links in the description as well. So make sure you commission Markus and make it happen. Make this man's dream come true. Markus, for anyone else who has a dream of becoming an artist and they're maybe having a hard time stretching that comfort zone, you know, trying something new, trying a different technique, what would be your biggest piece of advice to kind of help them ease their way into it and just start doing it?
Start doing it would probably be the easiest way to do it. I mean, right, so the most easiest way to get around these sort of things, like writer's block and an artist's block and all this noise, is like have a goal. Like I want, like I used to be really bad at drawing cars, and now I'm better at drawing cars because, like, well, this is the thing I need to tackle. And obviously drawing cars is a pain in the ass, but once you get it done and you can do it properly, and this is quite fun. So like, it's better to have like a goal oriented, like I'm doing this because, and then you'll just do it. You know, it's like it's probably better, you know, that's basically, if you want to do it, just come up with a reason to do it, like a goal at the end of, so that way it's not a case like, so that way not only is your initial kind of like, well, that was fucking tedious to begin with, it's also like, well, but it got easier, and I've achieved something. So not only, so it will flourish in something. Oh, that was worth it, you know.
And I think, you know, tricking your mind is a big part of it, right? I like to set timers. Like sometimes I have a hard time sitting down and focusing. So what I'll do is I'll set like a 15-minute timer, 30-minute timer. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm doing this as hard as possible for the next 15, 30 minutes. And then I can dick around a little bit after that. And it's like all that psychological like aspect of just tricking your mind into doing it. But it's that part of just tricking just seems to be the hardest part. Markus, this was an awesome chat. Thank you, dude.
Yeah. No, thank you. I like that timer thing though. I should implement that a lot more. That's a good idea.
I like the goal thing too. So I think we both kind of came up with some future tools for success. Markus, I know last time you were on, we always ended with a piece of advice, but this time around, I am doing things a little bit differently. So outside of consuming or outside of creating, what are you consuming? You know, what are you watching? What are you reading? You know, if you play any video games, what are you gaming on?
I don't play. Unfortunately, I do not play video games because essentially, like, I don't have enough time. In terms of what I'm consuming, what am I consuming? The last mainstream comic I read that I really liked was that. I'm really bad. I can't remember the comics that the guys I was with at con, but they were really good too. Yeah. I've been watching Night Lady Hawk's stuff on YouTube, and I've been going back through her like kind of like emotional film analysis, and she led me on to 1917, which I had heard of and I hadn't bothered watching, and I watched that the other night. And that's a really good film. So that's what I've been consuming, just that kind of, And then I've also found, and this might not appeal to anybody other than me specifically, but like I found like a whole bunch of like remixes of stuff like of Inuturo and Meteora and stuff like that with Mario 64 sounds, and that's what I've been listening to.
That's so cool,
I'm
though.
Just constantly because it's the music I grew up with, but I also doesn't have lyrics, so I can kind of zone in and concentrate and stuff.
I really like listening to music that doesn't have lyrics into, where you could just kind of get lost into it, and like it almost like it's like your own soundtrack for what you're doing, right? It's like this is my theme music to get my work done today.
Pretty much, it's that and chiptune and Michael Chicano scores.
Oh, that is awesome. Markus, once again, thank you for swinging by. Everyone watching, we're going to have all the links that you heard about today in the description below. Be sure to check them out. Be sure to commission Markus as well. We'll have that link as well. Hire him to do your comic book work. Make it happen today. With that being said, it's time for us to wrap up. I hope you all have a lovely, lovely Thursday. But most importantly, guys, keep it geekly.